So thank you everyone in the Twitch chat for joining me. We do have, again, Fusion versus Quackheads right now. And then following that, in about 40 minutes from now, we'll also have Vertigo versus Smash Dash. So 2 matches in a row for you. I think Sputnik should be joining me for that one. But for this one, just myself on this cast, as Galti just dishes that disc back out, maybe gets their own rebound. Swift taking that disc right back. Midline, Irony Man playing the lanes, pressuring hard with the stuns. And the disc a bit loose here as it gets knocked to the bottom of the floor. Now, see, there was initially a match scheduled here as a quick shot just barely grazes, missing that goal, but not by too much. But there was a match scheduled between Fusion and WJHFTB, I do believe, right about for this similar time slot. But had to get postponed last minute, so for Fusion, obviously still wanting and ready to play as Alikos makes a defensive play. No apprehension. Just a great grab from him as now the stacks come out. Good stun here. Double stun, in fact. Galti and Gob both contesting that one. Tap out. Good recognition to find that past the middle man over in the mid lane. So Flash Flood now. Taking that away from Galti, looking to make a play here for his team. Passes going out, but a bit stray. So now Middleman and Gob taking this over. And we'll back it out to the Pac-Man, or bring it forward, I should say, and now into the bubble. So good positioning here. There's some available options. And oh, the adoption from Alikos. He takes that goal for himself. Couldn't quite save it. But nonetheless, 2 points it will be. Counts all the same when it comes to the scoreboard. So 2 points here first for Quack. Launching out is Fusion. So right there, they opt to send David Duel to kind of bother that first stack. Allow the QB a little bit of extra space, or at least wiggle room, to not be pressured as much by that. And that's one of the things that you can afford, indeed, in 4v4 as Alikos looks for a play. He does have that pass over to the opposite side, but it was going to be cut off pretty well regardless if he went for it. So diving maybe a little early there, and as a result, Quackheads able to convert on the turnover, if nothing else. But so many stuns going out all the meanwhile. And now a mishandle of the disc, actually, so couldn't find that goal. No longer open for them. Flash Flood going for that pass. Alikos, though, great grab. Dives out on that one. Those long passes always a bit easier for the defense to collect. Just good heady play by him. Now, Irony Man does bring this out. Passes on to Middleman. Quick clear and boost, but a 2-man stun there from Swift. Now 2 heads and all stunned out for them, so it converts for Fusion on the defensive end. But the question is, will they get some offense in? They're going for maybe another possible clear and boost situation. There's Galti and Alikos, but another one of those maybe held on too long, allowed Gobshite to get in there and brawl them out. And of course, on the front line, or basically anywhere on the floor, you really don't want to give Gob opportunities to stun you because he loves going for it. That one going to be missed and bounces back to the wedge. Slinged out by David Duel. And off to Swift it goes. Swift looking for the top of the goal area, going down towards the bottom now as Middleman collects it for his team. Xandria stopping by again. Did I just use heady to describe a play? I don't know, did I? Over here goes to Swift. Heady play, like awareness, and good save. Speaking of good plays, it's Gob coming in there. Maybe I said heading. But I also use heady sometimes. Mind up the gutter, if you will. Alpha goes, though, to Alikos, and he's trying to find that goal. That's going to be a good bounce that just will barely miss anyway. That was going to be a close play, however, as it goes here to the other side on the stack. Trying to get it back for Fusion, but once again, lots of back and forth play. And another save, Alikos. Great goalkeeping at play, and David Duel slings it out. So maybe goalkeeping week continues here. I don't know. Last week in week 3 of VRML, especially in Europe, it was just saves aplenty. Really for both regions, but especially Europe. Right now, Alikos doing some great work inside the goal. And Quackheads trying to roll in. But no, another interception and a clear. So David and Alikos trying to find their stack. Just the same for Quackheads over here, collecting it in that pocket area. Venom in the chat saying, let's go. We're going. Trust me, we're going. Right now, these guys are going. 5 minutes in, very low scoring game so far. So cross-passing play over to middleman. He has a couple options there, finds Irony Man, but another save, Alacost! Absolutely giving nothing up here defensively. So great effort from him. Galti gets a takeaway now. So if they can find a good boost, maybe right here can tie it up or even take a lead. A soft one coming from David Dull. Goal is momentarily open. Now will be a 4-on-1 situation, but cannot convert, so maybe a little rushed on that one, but Alacost will get it right back for his team. Tries to find an avenue. So unfortunately for Fusion, off of some excellent defense, just couldn't quite make those extra passes to capitalize on the 4-on-1. So they'll hopefully recover the disc here, not be hurting if a Flash Flood tries to get that one, but sails past his hands as well. Back to the mid lane it goes. A lot of brawls going on in the middle there. You can see kind of in the background as they roll out to Gob in the front line. Now, Gob tries to find Irony Man, pass just going to be off there, taken right back and stunned out. So control being had and then lost kind of over and over, and that's the story of these first 6 minutes so far, really, as this pass sails right past the hands of Irony now. Gets it on the recollect. Looking for maybe some slower play, just waiting for someone to cut. Has some options down low, soft one up to Gob. He'll go up high, and finally it took, I don't know how many chances to shoot that on Alacost before they got it in, but so Alacost not able to save one for once, as Gobshite does find the 4th point for Quack. So on the rollout here, Galti will receive it. Can't get the 3-point play. That would have made it a 1-point game. Good look, though, and they'll still take the disc right back, retaining for their team. 3 minutes left. This pass meeting the hands of Galti. Galti just waiting for his teammates to kind of go on that front line so he can get that cross pass over to Swift. He does. One more, and there is finally a goal for Swift and Co. Fusion with 2. Important goal for them. Less than 3 minutes remaining in what's a low-scoring game basically means that, yeah, every score is going to count, and the fact that they can bring it within 2 points, you know, it's good news and at least helps their efforts if they want to make a late-game mini comeback here. At the moment, in the clear, taken by Gobshite. He will be stunned by some players. A lot of pileups forming as these teams kind of try and separate and find some passing lanes. Galti backing it out, being really patient with it. And that's what you like to see when things get in a disarray, is knowing that you don't always have to push the disc forward at every opportunity. You know, you can back it out if you can and look for some extra passes and things like that. Now, playing the deep back line, however, is middleman as well as Flash Flood. They were well prepared for that intercept, knowing that they're in the lead and don't have to necessarily play as aggressively as they were earlier on. Xandria asking why I can't use a first-person view. I can, I do sometimes, but you see it's on the streaming end of things, it's a bit confusing at times. Like I usually go to it if someone's catching it in an open lane, not contested. But if you're in this kind of situation, like you see, it's really disorienting and you can't tell what's going on. So I usually stay away from it until there's a kind of lulls in the action, and if I can remember to switch. Otherwise, you know, try to give it that sports-like presentation. Keep it third person for the most part, just so the spectators in the stream can get the best possible view of what's going on and who's positioned where. But yeah, first person is a thing. David Duel getting domed, and then right there, they will roam for the goal. Galti looking good on the tie-up play. So 4-4 with a minute left in round 1. So as they line up for their plays here, one goal at any point in this next 50 seconds will very possibly, likely in fact, be a game winner just based on how the rest of this round has turned out. Only 8 points between these two teams, looking for the most important points right about now. Otherwise, we could be looking at an overtime situation really soon. Quackheads trying to find a room on the passing play, but it's dove upon by Alacost. So another good defensive play and an important one. 25 seconds left, though, and it will flow into the outer edge of that three-point area. Taken here by Gobshite, being stunned. No, getting the stun, getting it done for the 1-goal lead, 6-4. And as a result, we will be looking at a victory for Quackheads in round 1 off a big shot from Gob. 7-6. Alakos really doing a great job in the goal. I mean, getting that one interception. He already has a multitude of good saves just head on in the goal. But as is usually the case with, excuse me, as is usually the case, you know, when you give teams multiple chances at offense, despite any good saves and defense, by the time you get 3, 4, 5 opportunities, one of those shots is likely to go in. But yeah, look at that. 4 points all for Gob, the most important one there at the end. There was also a self-goal by someone, I think, right? So not sure who got the other points. But nonetheless, he has 1 save, 1 steal, 24 stuns as well. Middleman with an assist, 15 stuns. Irony Man with an assist and a save and 18 stuns. Flash Flood, a save and 13 stuns over on Fusion's end, as I really struggle to not destroy my voice this week. Take a drink. Okay. Alakos, 5 saves, amazing plays, some intercepts as well, diving out on those passing plays, the cross passes. Swift with 2 points, 2 saves, 21 stuns. David Duel with an assist, 1 save, and 26 stuns. Galti with 2 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 29 stuns. So very, very stun heavy at the moment for Fusion. And Gob over on Quackheads. All right, so round 2 will start. Give you a quick look at the team stats. Don't get to those as often as I mean to sometimes these days, but yeah, teams starting off here on the joust. Both of them look like maybe a delayed joust, but ultimately going to retain. We'll actually go to Galti here. So Galti takes that, tries to send it over to the opposite side, finds Swift, and Swift trying to make that shot with some swiftness, but just miss on that one. Rebound to Galti. And now some good stuns. David Duel coming in, contesting, but what a save from Middleman, dipping through all the traffic there. 2 or 3 players all up in his field of vision, but still had the wherewithal to collect that disc. Middleman, one of the best goalies, not only in Europe, but just in the game, period. Consistently making those impressive saves. Venom saying Fusion definitely trying to brawl this match. Yeah, very brawl-heavy teams. I know Quackheads, they're usually a pretty brawl-heavy team, but Fusion definitely no slouches of their own and are capitalizing on a lot of those. I mean, bring up that team stat real quick. There you go. See, it's pretty even right now, 86 to 80. So usually I know Quackheads for being the more brawl-heavy one, but Fusion just the same are just staying in it and in it for the goal. 2 points to Swift in round 2. So good play off the backboard there, using that shooter's touch, finessing it in. So Middleman takes us away now for him. Gets a nice pass off and tries to stun that back line at the moment, just keeping their stack broken up. Buying some time for Flash Flood here. And still in the back line. Fusion not being able to collect their stacks because of some great brawling there from Gob, I believe it was as well. So it bought them the goal. Great looking score from Quackheads, but it was all predicated on that mid lane brawling. Both Middleman and Gobshite just stunning over and over and denying any boost to gather for Fusion. So pretty play from them. Now Alakos will roll out, try and get it off. The bounce doesn't find anyone quite yet. So trying to make some plays up top. More stuns coming out from Galti. 3 defenders all on him. Swift, though, a contender for a goal, and that's 4 points for Fusion. Great recognition there. Galti collecting that disc. There was an array of defenders, about 3 of them, all positioned on these islands, ready to assault. But, yeah, Galti managed to evade and just dish off that pass right before it was about to be taken away. Great play from Fusion as Middleman dodges the stack. So on the other end, will be apprehended by Alakos. One of his easier grabs of the night inside that goal. And right now with an open goal, Swift gets the lead, or expands the lead, I should say, for his team. That's 7-2 in round 2. So much higher paced offense we're seeing now. And the goals being made compared to that first round. I mean, already we're 1 point away from meeting the scoring total from round 1, and we still have 6:40 remaining. So Flash Flood receives that pass. A bit tight knit there on the spacing, but they still do get it through as Flash Flood takes it away. Give you a little bit of that first-person goodness as Flash Flood gets the goodness inside the goal. Back to 3-point differential.
12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And again, for those joining us here, mentioned before the stream had begun, just Fusion looking good their last few games. They've really made those differentials a lot tighter. Right there, though, trying to find a shot. Couldn't quite get the angle, but still a rebound. That's a great stack from them. Still have an open goal. Going to be covered now by David Duel. And now nice swing through off of a up and under move from Gobshite. 1-point game, right back in the hands of either team. So it looked like Fusion maybe was starting to pull away, but now on back-to-back unanswered goals from Quackheads will make the efforts a little bit better.
4, 3, 2, 1. Orange clears it out of their zone.
Pardon me for my brief pauses, by the way. I'm chugging that water. a lot of talking, but not complaining because all the action is on display here. As some punches, once again, in the back line looking like they're going to stop Fusion from retreating, but actually the overshoot, just a bad bounce. So couldn't convert on that one. So punch missed by Gob there, but he'll still back it out now towards that bow tie area. Middleman taking that away, looking for a lane, but nice defense, very nice defense in fact. They'll still get the offense going for the lead, however, from Quack. So Quackheads up ahead 8-7. But I mean, looking at that replay, it was well played by Quackheads there in the offense, but I mean, look at the defense from Fusion. Honestly, that was about as good of a job as you can possibly get because they had 2 passes, both near backboard and bow tie, or rather barrier, and they were both cut off. And then the second defender over on the barrier still got back to contest the guy with the disc there. So that was about the best possible defense you could have played in that situation. Just better offense, simply put, from Quackheads, able to squeeze it through. So now trying to squeeze through that shot. Didn't quite find the mark. Galti looking to clear it out and get it to Swift. Swift with a relatively open shot, but not too much mustard on it, and taken back by Middleman. And right now, Middleman getting it up top to Flash Flood. See how they play this one with the 1-point lead. Still a lot of time on the clock. And a good punch from Gob. Bold move. Maybe it'll pay off, though. Has himself a 2-on-1. Goes for the pass, but couldn't get it quite through. So right back now towards Alakost and Galti. They're both trying to contest here, but both missing due to some stuns going off. Trying to keep the handles on the disc. A Flash Flood gets it taken away, and that's a great grab again from Alakost. He continues to impress here inside the 2-point area. Really just a defensive shield for his team. Blocking out as much as possible, and as much as even more than can be expected. Some stuns now. But possession changing back and forth. Middleman does find the goal. Took a lot of time there, about 90 seconds on that opportunity. A lot of good defense being played, but Fusion couldn't get the clear. So it will be a 3-point lead now for Quack.
7, 6.
And Quack just trying to crack this lead open now for their team. So only down by 3, though. They don't need a 3-pointer on Fusion's side, but just want to see some execution. Right there, some good stuns, but couldn't really find a pass. Now Flash Flood takes it away, goes for the clear. Galti playing more of that back line, going for the brawls. Of Venom in the chat mentioning that earlier. And a soft shot should be able to be grabbed, and indeed, Alakost gets there in time for one more chance here at offense as Galti takes a light boost and gets it through. So at the moment, just a soft boost coming in, nothing too speedy. Galti gets there first, but is stunned quite promptly off of that. Now Alakost goes for a 3, ends up turning into a bounce pass instead. And backing it out here. Yeah, Venom saying a lot of steals. Really all that close quarters play playing a part here as they try for the shots. Galti will get the rebound and dunk, however. So they were trying to go for that 3-point play where you stun out the goalie, but couldn't quite time it right. But fortunately, Galti was there to at least get the rebounded dunk. So 1-point match. Fusion does need to win this round if they want to force that round 3. Otherwise, it will be a 2-0 to Quackheads, who do have possession of the disc now. 90 seconds remaining, round 2. So here as David Duel gets ducked. Good delivery to Iron Man. Now looking at another one of those maybe cross-pass plays that go down to Gob, and he does get the shot. Puts it back to a 3-point play, and because of that, Fusion in a position where they may indeed need to go for that stun on the goalie for a 3-pointer again, because a minute left. I mean, it's enough to score twice, but just based on the flow of this matchup right now, if you're Fusion, not sure if you're confident in your ability to do back-to-back twos. So maybe a 3-point play is what they need as we have 50 seconds remaining. Now, right now, priority not turning this disc over, but might be the case. Pile-ups forming there on the wall, but not a clear. So Galti, or Swift rather, with a good punch. That clear not all the way through, just trying to look for their stacks now of great import. Actually, no, because they did have a man in the intercepting lane. My bad on that one. But still, with 30 seconds left, it really needs to be someone on the goal going for the goalkeeper right now. A 3-point is a necessity, so still no one really bothering the goal and trying to take that backboard 3-pointed shot. Still 15 seconds left, but really need to see Fusion go for that goalie punch. There it is. At least get in his face, if nothing else. Try to find a placement on the 3. At the moment now, that clear will probably seal it indeed. So Quackheads, late game, will take us away and win. 12-9. Very close. Fusion had a few opportunities there at the end, and we kind of saw it before. I mentioned before the stream started. The last several games now, including this one, just really close for Fusion. The differentials couldn't quite get the win, but I mean, I feel like they're right on the cusp of finding their stride. I mean, they had some nice plays. Look at those stat lines there. Swift with 9 points. And then Alakos with a 6 save, so offensively, defensively. And then David Duel, 38 stuns. So really, individually, the Fusion players putting it together. You know, someone carrying the offense there, someone carrying the defense there, someone carrying the brawling ends there. They're really a lot of strong individual play, if nothing else. But hoping to see that convert into some good team play, you know, and get some wins on the board, because they are really, really close. But for Quackheads, they will come through with this victory, so congrats to them. It's Gobshite with 8 points, 2 assists, 1 save, 3 steals, 44 stuns. That is a mighty big stat line for him on the night. A Middleman with 4 points, an assist, 3 saves, 1 steal, 23 stuns. Flash Flood with 4 points, 1 save, 2 steals, and 25 stuns. And then for Irony, it's 3 assists, 2 saves, and 31 stuns. Quite brawl heavy on these 2 rounds between the teams. All right, so with that match now concluded, we have one more presumably still taking place, unstreamed to my knowledge, between Backlash and Vertigo. And we will be following after that match, though. I'll be getting into Vertigo's match in the next 15 minutes or so, as they'll face off against Smash Dash. So I suppose we'll stick to this stream. Why not? What were the match stats? Well, that now I don't know. I usually forget to go to that too much these days. I know you can get it, not that it helps for the VOD, but you can get the team stats, I do believe, if you hover over the Twitch player on the, hover over like the top middle area, and it should show team stats typically. Actually, it might still be there. I'm not sure if it resets until I enter a new game, so maybe the possession time and stuff is still there. Who knows? But yes, all right, so I will go to a intermission. We'll just keep the stream alive since the next match is coming up at any point in the next 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on if it goes to 2 rounds, 3 rounds. So I expect an invite soon. But until then, be back in a flash flood, I guess.